Hello everyone. Many thanks to the organisers of this interest group for inviting me to speak today. I'm sorry I cannot be with you in person, but I do hope you find something interesting in this brief talk. I will begin with an acknowledgement of country. I acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands on which we all are as we gather virtually today. For me, that is the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, who have been custodians of this land for many thousands of years. I pay my respects to their elders past and present. I am M Thompson. I am a Senior Research Data Specialist within the Melbourne Data Analytics Platform at the University of Melbourne in Australia. My specialty within the team is Research Data Stewardship, and given my previous qualifications, I believe I can claim competence in both HASS and STEM disciplines. Today I'll share aspects with you of my current role. First, I'll briefly describe how Mdap engages researchers with research data, and then share some aspects of a recent collaboration. Mdap began a few years ago as an experiment in supporting researchers undertaking data-intensive research. It is the workforce component of a larger initiative that also involves infrastructure to enable that research. We have 21 people in our team, having doubled earlier this year, and the team is built to represent as many academic disciplines as possible. We are academic specialists who collaborate with researchers as co-researchers, not service providers. And on the slide there, you can see the skill sets that we claim. In terms of the iconography of the 2019 cookbook put together by this interest group and that I found very useful, Mdap has engaged with a moderate number of researchers in the last 12 months, though we could consider our reach to be much broader, given those collaborators have taken their learnings into their own communities. We have a large team, 17 FTE from the 21 individuals I mentioned earlier. We target researchers at all stages, for it is an important part of the selection process that the merit of the research is the focus and not the seniority of the researchers. Obviously, we are therefore research driven and bottom up. And yes, this is considered perhaps an expensive approach to engaging researchers with research data and data-intensive research. There is much more I can say about Mdap, our structure and the experience of working here, but let me move on to sharing a recent experience of engaging a researcher with their research data. Now, I strongly believe that showcasing and sharing the experience of actual research data projects is the best way of teaching and encouraging others. The Polymuse Mdap collaboration is still in progress. It's what I consider a digital humanities project. The details you can read on the slide there while I speak a little more. The main requirement of this collaboration was for the Mdap team to work alongside the Polymuse team to push data that had already been collected into a database that had already been designed, built, and had data in it. The public website for this project is at the bottom of the slide here, and I encourage you to have a look if you're into that kind of work. Before getting into detail, as a collaborator coming into a mature research project, it was important that I was aware that research is a process and learning is inevitable. And it's important to take time to understand the context in which previous decisions were made that will have impact on the work as I do it. For this project, for example, it was determined that the terminology would be captured first before controlling it in an iterative process. Now, this means, therefore, that the tension then lay in when to move from an iterative process to a controlled vocabulary methodology. And this may be more flexible than we're familiar with for some RDM approaches, which in some cases does want to control the vocabulary immediately. But with respect to how Mdap added value to this project was in the data ingest. And a number of programs could have been used for this, like Python or R. However, I chose Microsoft Excel, and that was purely a matter of accessibility and practicality. I did not want the researchers to need to learn a different software or language just to understand their own data. The template was built up column by column, each transforming part of the data, and this was done to role model good data auditing methodology to enable error trapping by both Mdap and Polymuse team members, and more so to facilitate researcher engagement with their own data. The experience showed that we know that researchers are experts in their field and cannot be expected to be data experts if they've not done work like this before. And that's in fact why teams like Mdap exist. We are there to work with researchers with their own data. And what we've also found is that while we're all certainly capable of doing some very fancy analytic work, an overly sophisticated approach may not always be the best for our researchers. Another important lesson, and you probably all know this, is the significant trade-off between time invested at data collection design and the time then spent on data cleaning. Showcasing projects that can elucidate that value is critical for new researchers to encourage them to engage early in data management and throughout the research cycle. So a team like Mdap needs to make their presence known and needs to advertise the value of applying their skills to a research project so that research projects and researchers think of us and get us involved early so that we can help offset some of those trade-offs. And with that, I will finish. Again, thank you to the organisers for inviting me today. I welcome your email if you'd like to discuss anything I've shared with you. Thank you.